Hi, my name's Danny Brown. I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and this is our December market update. So Thanksgiving is over, and traditionally, this is kind of when seasonality kicks in for Phoenix as we head into the holiday seasons. Market activity will see a drop off just naturally because a lot of people don't want to move during the holidays. You don't want to list your home and have people walking through your home when it's decorated, when you're celebrating Christmas, when you have family over, and it's a bad time to be a seller just due to the holidays. So what we're seeing already is we are in a relatively weak housing market. Overall activity is down. So listing activity is about 35 to 40% below normal. Buyer demand is also about 35 to 40% below normal. So we are just in traditionally a weak housing market. Headed into the holidays, it's going to compound that, making it even weaker. Right now, there's about 19,600 active listings in the MLS. So that's homes available for sale. That number over the last few months has slowly been trending down, and that has to do with what experts are calling rate lock syndrome. So you have a lot of homeowners rather, who have very low fixed mortgage payments. So during the last couple of years, everybody and their mother refinanced their mortgage, and something like 70% of the United States has an interest rate below 4%, and roughly 85% of the population is below 4.5%. So there's very little motivation for someone to sell their home where they have a low mortgage, low fixed interest rate payment to go into a much higher payment. So most sellers turn into buyers, and when they're not selling their home, they're not buying new ones. So you've got inventory that is remaining low, but then you also have buyer demand that's remaining low. So who is selling? You have some investors that are selling properties. You have people who are getting divorced that are selling property. Death causes people to need to sell homes, and then just traditionally people move out of state due to work or just life. And so the homes that you are seeing on the market are trending towards mostly them. Buyers, a lot of the market is made up of individuals moving into Phoenix. You've got a good percentage of first-time home buyers as well. This is a very favorable market if you're a first-time home buyer because there's very little competition. And so this has been a market where those first-time home buyers that see the opportunity are really taking advantage of it. We had some good news this last month. Inflation was better than expected. It was still high, but it was better than what was expected by the experts. And because of that, it caused interest rates to fall by almost 1%. And so now we find ourselves with mortgage rates hovering in the mid 6% range, which is still higher than where they have been, but certainly off their highs. That has pulled some buyers back into the market. So we had favorable results come from builders. So we saw an increase in contracts and permits for new homes. And we saw an uptick in buyers getting under contract too, because those mortgage rates did come down. So even though rates came down to roughly 6.5%, I've been saying for multiple videos that if you are paying market rate for your mortgage, you are a sucker. You have a bad realtor or somebody's not negotiating very well on your behalf. Right now, you should be able to get a seller to contribute from their proceeds towards your purchase to be able to buy your mortgage rate down. So most of the buyers that we are working with and have under contract are paying mortgage rates anywhere from 4.5% to 5.25%, just depending on the situation. So you should be having your agent negotiate very heavily on your behalf to get that seller to buy your mortgage rate down to make your mortgage payment that much more affordable. So if you are buying right now, focusing on having that seller buy your rate down, I believe that over the next 6 to 12 months, so in 2023, probably the second half of 2023, we are going to see mortgage rates come down. And I think that they're going to come down somewhere between 4.5% to 5%. So if I'm a buyer who's interested in purchasing, I am trying to be very motivated to be on the front end of that. So I'm looking at homes now, understanding that this is the weakest that the market's going to be headed into the holiday season, but wanting to beat the trend of buyers re-entering the market, because when we have rates get closer to 5% or even below, I think you're going to see an influx of buyers come back to the market. I much rather be a buyer when there's no competition and then refinance later than be a buyer when there's heavy competition when rates are lower. If you are a seller, then you're probably already on the market, and really the only advice I have for you is going to be around pricing. So you're going to have to price very aggressive headed into this holiday season if you want to get your home sold before the end of the year or in early 2023. If you are thinking of going to market, one thing I would do is have your photos taken before you put up your holiday decorations. I know this last weekend, a lot of people already put up their holiday decorations, but if you were one of the people that didn't and you're thinking of selling, I would take those photos sooner rather than later. There is nothing more tackier than being a listing in the MLS in January, February, March, where all your photos have Christmas decorations in them. The other thing, if you're selling, your home needs to be almost pristine. So buyers have choices right now and the market's really soft. So if you're wanting to get top dollar, the home has to be in fantastic condition. So I would recommend using this time, this holiday season, to have contractors come in, do updates, do touch-ups, and really just, I would personally do a blue tape walkthrough. And if you're not familiar with what a blue tape walkthrough is, it's something that builders do when you're close to closing on the home, where you take little pieces of blue painter's tape and you mark up the house of all the imperfections. I might do that in my own home if I was prepping for sale, and then have a contractor come out and give you an estimate or a bid on what it would take to correct all those imperfections. But if you're wanting top dollar for your home, the market that we're in, your home needs to be in pristine, near perfect condition in order to get a buyer motivated to want to spend top dollar on it. If not, then you really need to think about pricing aggressively and even pricing below some of where the recent solds took place in your neighborhood. So in summation, if you are a seller during the holiday season, you really need to price aggressively, have a perfect product out there that motivates buyers that are shopping to pull the trigger. If you can, I am waiting until Q1 to actually list my home, and I'm taking advantage of this quiet time to have contractors come out and fix everything and getting it ready for sale. If you're a buyer, just based on seasonality, October, November, and December are the best months to buy a home, because that is when the housing market is at its weakest just naturally. The fact that we are already in a weak housing market with the holidays compounded on that makes this a very advantageous time to buy. However, the homes that you're looking at are probably been on the market for a little while, and a lot of new stuff isn't going to come up until after the first of the year. So you may not have access to everything that's going to be listed, but in knowing that, you can really beat up on the sellers who are listed to get some amazing deals as we wind down the year. This is our December market update. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.